this entrepreneur basically said you never have a good day when you run your own business. You either have an amazing day or you feel like you're going to die. And that's a bit like what's going on for me right now. Hi and welcome back to the show. This episode is a little bit different than usual. I guess when I started my journey just about 18 days ago on the 1st of February, as I transitioned out of my full-time job and into my full-time business, my own business, I talked about that I was going to document it and kind of share my journey and record the ups and the downs. And I guess for some reason I've unconsciously avoided recording the lows and the downs, and I've done a bunch of videos which have been loads of fun to do, and I put them up there and they're kind of upbeat. And today is actually one of those days that feels just a little bit down, I guess, like a little bit more difficult. And it's really weird because one of the things is that from one moment to the next, or from one day to the next, it can be great, and then you can feel terrible. And I remember seeing a documentary where this entrepreneur basically said you never have a good day when you run your own business. You either have an amazing day or you feel like you're going to die. And that's a bit like what's going on for me right now. And just to give a bit of context, last night my girlfriend and I watched a documentary on BBC Three called The Rise of the Superstar Vloggers, presented by Jim Chapman, who's a vlogger himself. And he basically goes around and meets a whole bunch of celebrity vloggers. If you're watching this YouTube video, then you might be more familiar with the YouTube world. And if you're someone that just happens to have landed on my video and you're not really familiar with the YouTube community, then these guys probably mean nothing to you. And a lot of them, you could cross them in the street and you wouldn't know. But online they have this massive following of 9 million people or 2 million people, and have 250 million views of videos and so forth. And they've got these huge personalities online. And what that brought up for me, there was a bit it was a bit disturbing, if I'm honest, to watch this. It was very people who started off quite insecure and had probably some self-confidence issues or some self-esteem issues, and then suddenly they're brought up on this massive scene, and you can actually see when they're being interviewed, it's a bit weird. You kind of realize that, or at least that's what I make up, that they're still dealing with some shit, and they're very different when they're on the camera than when they're off the camera. And I always thought that was a bit weird. And I get it, we all have different personalities, we all portray different personalities. I've got a certain style when I produce my videos, that I put them out there on this channel. But there's also this side, which is the real side. And one thing I've always been keen to talk about, and I guess this is what my journey really is about, it's to talk about the stuff that when we feel like shit and to make it okay. I felt pretty crappy today. And for me, there's a few things that come into play when I feel really crappy, and definitely one of them is when I spend too much time looking at a screen, maybe on my phone or my laptop, and I spend way too much time on emails and social media and just doing stuff like that. I actually get headaches. And I went for a walk, and on the walk I actually called one of my friends, Adam Conlon, who's a former army officer who's become a stand-up comedian and a host, and it was amazing to talk with him, because instantly we kind of both laughed about this whole situation of just how weird this world is, and this is the thing that you don't really know about. And it's a bit like child labor, I guess. If people knew what child labor was really like, they probably wouldn't have kids. But then when they have kids, they're super happy that they've had, and they kind of forget about the pain that they went through, and they have other kids. And it feels a bit like that in this process of starting this business, I guess, or starting this journey. It's like, it's really tough. It really is tough, because you spend entire days when you're on your own in front of your screen. It's so easy to hide behind things and feeling like you're being productive, but really you're not actually doing what you're supposed to. I've never been so concerned about money in my entire life. I've always been really fortunate to get a paycheck and to work ever since I was really young. And for the first time, I'm not getting money in, apart from my freelance work that I'm doing, consultancy work for the Movember Foundation, my previous employer, 2 days a week. So I'm getting a little bit of money that barely covers my mortgage. So it's a really interesting theme that's coming up. And I wish it would be okay to sort of talk about this and to not make it bad, that today's a day that I don't feel great. And I forgot to bridge with what I was talking about previously about the rise of the superstar vloggers, and why it kind of a bit freaked me out is that when I started this journey, my goal was to be able to do YouTube videos and to help 1 million people out there to start something meaningful to them by sharing my journey of what it's really like to quit your job and start your own business. And I wanted to do that in a certain way, and I wasn't quite sure how to do it, and I had a lot of friends, and I've been looking online, and there seems to be a very popular way of basically vlogging, which is video blogging, for if you don't know, but it's basically documenting your entire day and everything you do, from like going to the supermarket to going meeting a friend, and I guess it scared me, because what scared me is that your life then becomes totally geared around this little digital box that you hold in your hand and that you walk around, and every single thing in your life becomes a potential shot or a potential great story to share with your community. One thing that really rung alarm bells for me was when Alfie Days, a very popular vlogger who's actually now immortalized as a wax figure in Madame Tussauds museum in London, who had the most votes from people to be featured in Madame Tussauds along with his girlfriend Zoe. And the sentence that he said that rung alarm bells for me was that he said that his community of people who followed him on YouTube knew him better than his own friends. And that was like, that's shit. For me, that's shit. If people I've never met in my life and who I only interact through a box that basically captures this moment because I'm talking to it and I'm filming into it, if these people know me better than my own friends, then is that the life I want to live? And the answer is no. And it kind of freaked me out a bit, because this path that I set myself on maybe isn't the path that I really want to do. I guess one of the things that I'm coming up with is that we all have our own ways of doing things. I could totally go down the way of filming and documenting my entire day and be a performer and be an entertainer and show you every single bit of my life and make it interesting. I could do that, but I don't want to. I think I'd much rather have a heartfelt, honest conversation, share some of the stuff that I find really valuable, share some of the lessons that I've learned, share some of the tips and insights that I've come across in a kind of a comfortable setting where I'm either in my home, in my bedroom, at a remote desk, and just have these little short burst moments of interaction and help you out by answering any questions that you may have and answering any comments. And for me, I guess it's a big realization that I don't want to be doing daily videos of my life. I want to put videos every single day, and I want to do podcasting and blogging and all this thing, but I'll do it my way. It's often the difficult process of realizing that you've got to let go of something in order to really get what you want. That's accepting that maybe I'm not going to do what most people want me to do, or I don't want to do the thing that's going to get me the most views or the most subscribers in the fastest way possible. And that feels difficult for some reason. This video is more the kind of video that I really want to do, really, to kind of be honest and share the real version of what it's like to quit your job and start your own business, so you can get one perspective of what it's like, because your journey would be different than mine. And what I want to be doing is recording some of my conversations with some of my friends who've been on this journey for a while, who have just started, who are being super successful or less successful. Record those conversations actually through a form of podcast, which I'll be releasing on my podcast, The Unconventionalist, which you can find on iTunes and SoundCloud, and record those on a much more regular basis and put the whole content out there. And I hope to share with you from now on a daily video of whatever it is, some insight, a tip, an aha moment, a shitty moment, a mistake that I made, and everything in between, really. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. I know that this is a world where we are all time poor. If you know someone that could get some value out of watching this video, even if it's one person, please share this video with them, especially if they're on their journey of quitting their job and maybe starting a business. If you'd like to subscribe to the show, that'd be amazing. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers by the end of the month. Help me make that goal. Thanks, and until next time, stay awesome.